This is YK Prakash. In this video, I would like to present you with the obstacle avoiding robotic car I recently constructed and tested. I'll present you with two varieties of software for helping the car navigate. I'll also try to explain you some of the finer points I learned the hard way while making this work. First, let us have a look at the construction. So let's have a look at the construction. Okay. These are the motors, Bevo motors. These are of 100 RPM. I tried 300 RPM also. They were so fast, there was no control. So I had to again fix back my 100 RPM motors. I have tested and found that these are drawing around 115 milliamps current each. I also found that immediately on switch on when you go to high speed, they are drawing around 250 milliamps surge current. We need to be aware of this. Also, I have not done any prior homework on these things, but I realized from a book on embedded robotics, I realized that we need to consider the gear ratio also. So this ratio, the suggested ratio by the book is 1:125 to 1:200. That is why my suggestion is we are better off buying a kit, or I've seen in Amazon.in they are selling a set of 4 motors and 4 wheels, because wherever I purchase these motors they are not mentioning about anything about the ratio of the motors. Okay, so in that particular vendor Amazon.in guy, he has mentioned that those motors are 150 RPM with 1:125 ratio, so that must be good. See, this promised 1:125 ratio and this 100 RPM or to 150 RPM speed. This is also stated at a particular voltage applied. They probably promised that only at 12 volts operation. Anyway, in our case we are using 8 volts. We are using lithium ion batteries, 2600 mAh. Okay. 2 motors, let us say they are drawing around a total of 250 milliamps. This is 2600 mAh, so we can expect 10 hours of operation roughly, theoretically. Okay. Then these wheels, I tried other type of wheels also. I tried these wheels also, but they were not given me much improvement. I think in my earlier video I said these are better, but again these things keep changing. I struggled for 2 weeks, as I told you. So now this caster wheel. Okay, so this caster wheel fixing also, see, there must be some equation dictating the distance between these 2 wheels. Okay, I am not bothered to check it. This is a random construction only. With this caster wheel I found some problem. You can see the construction of this. Oof. Okay, this is a ball bearing, so there are some small balls and then this big ball. This has capacity to, we can keep up to 7 balls, but the one I initially fixed it here, it was having only 6 balls. So later on I realized, at the end of the almost 2 weeks period, I realized that 1 ball is missing, so I kept it back from this spare. I think it started working better after that. So please be aware of that. Okay. I tried this caster wheel also, but I was totally not satisfied. So that's why it took me 2 weeks time trying different items and all that. Now these are the fixing posts. I used 50 mm height. Then this is L298N PCB. You can use L293D also. Only thing is, there's not much of a difference between the price. So we already calculated that in this case, Bevo motors are drawing a total of 250 milliamps, and the surge can be as high as 500 milliamps or maybe even more, because I do not know the response time of my multimeter. Theoretically, L293D should work. So in case you don't have this PCB, use L293D because it can bear only up to 600 milliamps total, whereas this can bear up to 1.5 amps to 2 amps. Okay, so this is the on-off switch. This is Arduino Nano. You can observe that I have not used any of the jumper wires. Those jumper wires are always a headache. They can become loose just like that. So I used a cable here for the important connection like this. Okay, and then everything I soldered directly here. I fixed this servo like this with 2 screws. Here also I do not have a 4-pin connector, that's why I am using a 5-pin connector. Okay, earlier I was using this old type of connector. This is having thicker wires, it is a bit taut. I thought I need something more flexible. This is having thinner wires, better quality wires. So I used this type of connector. Also I had already shown you how to make this plastic holder for the sensor in my previous video. So this is the same circuit diagram I had given in my last video. So you can have a look at it. This will look more neat and clean. Let me briefly explain you the logic of 2 different softwares I am discussing about. So the first logic, it actually gathers distance readings at 7 different angles. Okay, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Initially it will take distance readings at all the angles, then it will take reading at only one angle. So this is a really smart way of doing it. In the loop it is taking one by one reading. Okay, that way it is saving lot of time. Otherwise what happens, for the servo to move, we need to give lot of delay because the servo's movement is slow. So traversing over large angles, waiting for too much time, it is not helpful for this kind of logic. So he is taking one reading, then he is checking if all the distances in the array, given array, are greater than 30 centimeters or not. That means there is no obstruction. So if there is no obstruction, go forward. If yes, go forward. If there is an obstruction, that is if no, that is all the distances are not greater than 30 centimeters. It will take a left turn, slight left turn, because we are not spending too much time in backing up and moving. Okay, so we are only spending 50 milliseconds. So again we go back to loop and then take another reading. So where we are going to take the next reading, we will take next reading in the, depending on the array we have selected. See, initially what happens, it will take readings from 60 degrees, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Then again it will come back to 110. Okay, cyclically it will come back in a circular fashion. It will take reading at 110, then 100, then 90, 80, 70, 60. Again it will take readings from 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, like this circular fashion. So this is the logic of the first program. The logic of the second program is totally different. It is going straight as long as there is no obstruction. If there is an obstruction, it will turn extreme left and extreme right and see what is the situation there, and then it will take a decision depending on that. Okay, so first we are moving servo to 90 degrees. This is the rest position or looking straight ahead. Then we are making a measurement, single measurement at that servo angle of 90 degrees. Then we are checking if the distance is greater than 30 centimeters or not. If it is S. That means there is no obstruction ahead. It will go forward. Okay, it will keep waiting there. Here wait means it will keep going in the direction only. Okay, then again let us say we wait for 50 milliseconds. So that means it is going to continue going ahead for next 50 milliseconds in case that wait or delay is 50 milliseconds. Okay, so again it will check distance. Again, if there is no obstruction, it will continue to be in this loop. Otherwise, if the distance is less than 30 centimeters, that means there is an obstruction. If the logic says no, then it will stop. It will completely stop. See, in the earlier software, it doesn't stop at all. It was continuous movement. Whereas here it stops. Then it will not move back. What it does is, it will first move the servo to 180 degrees, take a reading. Then it will move the servo to 0 degrees. It will take a reading. Okay, here you should observe that it is making a sweeping movement from almost 0 to 180 degrees. Okay, so we have to give 400 milliseconds delay for the servo to take action, proper action. Otherwise, the angles will not be proper. Okay, so then it will take a reading, then it will decide which direction to move. Okay, in case left side there is some space, it will move left. If there is some space on the right side, it will move right, like that. In case there is no spacing on the front, left and right also, it will make a more sharper turn and turn around. So it will move in that direction and wait. So this wait again is critical. This wait is going to decide how much turn or angular turn it is going to take. Okay, so this is also critical. For example, while turning left or right, we may give some, let us say 500 milliseconds. Whereas if it wants to turn around, it has to spend more time. In my example, I am giving almost 1200 to 1500 milliseconds for turning around. So again, so it will move in that direction. Again go back and start taking a reading at 90 degrees. So it is going to loop like this. So that is about the logic explanation. So let us have a look at the software. This is the code given by Stephen A. Edwards. I have already explained some of these things. Okay, I will only explain the critical points in this particular video. I am not using this particular one right now, but you can use it. This is unsigned int last distance. I am storing last distance because in some cases while taking the reading, see here we are calculating period and returning period. Okay, but this period sometimes this is in mm, but one extreme value it was showing is 10,000 counts, 11,000 counts and all that. Whereas in general, the highest count I got is approximately around 2500. Okay, that means 250 centimeters. So in case that happens, so in case I given some logic here to avoid the extremes, in case it happens to be 0 or greater than 3000, we will take the last distance as the period. Okay, so that is the idea. So I am not using it. I commented them out in this particular program. If you want, you can use it. So here what are we doing? In setup we are doing the initial setup. The servo is at 90 degrees normally initially. Then we are writing to servo right, servo angle of 0. So he is having an array of 7 different angles at which the servo will be kept for taking a reading. So we are going to the first angle. In the array, the first angle happens to be 60 degrees. Okay. Then we are waiting for 400 milliseconds. So how much milliseconds delay you must give? This is critical. For this, we need to see the specs for the MG90S servo. The specifications for MG90S servo say that for 60 degrees movement, it takes 0.11 seconds or 110 milliseconds. Let us try to see how much time it will take for it to go from 0 to 180 degrees. we are talking in terms of 60 degrees, so it is 3 times. So a total travel time of 330 milliseconds. So roughly 400 milliseconds it can take. We should be aware of that. That is why I have given profusely delay 400 milliseconds, because initially I do not know where the servo is. Anyway, here I kept it at 90 degrees. So we are at safe distance only. We don't require this much delay, but this is the way to look at how much delay to provide. We are doing the initial set of the readings. So we are moving from each angle from 60 degrees to 120 degrees. There are 7 steps. We are moving to each angle, and then we are making note of the reading. And also the delay I have given is sampling delay, that is 50 milliseconds. Okay. This is the array of angles, and this is the array for storing the 7 distances, and this is the limit. The limit for obstruction I am checking is 300 mm. Okay, sampling delay is 50 milliseconds. The last distance I am not using. And one offset, this is for offsetting the difference between 2 motors. Now inside the loop, I change the name of the function here. This function name right now reflects actually what it is doing. It is reading distance initially. See here, first thing it does is read the distance. Okay, reading the distance initially, and then it will also move the servo to the next position in the array. So the last one is servo write. So that's why I change the name of the function. It is doing a read distance and move servo. Then I am creating a variable called clear to go, which is true. It is assuming that there is no obstruction initially. Then it is checking the array of values of distances and making sure they are all above 300, above the limit 300. Okay, so in case any one of the distances in the array is less than 30 centimeters or 300 mm, it will make clear to go false. So now that is the logic. Now if it is clear to go, that means if there is no obstruction, it will simply run the motor. Only offset I am using here, applying here only. In my case, the left motor I had to add some offset. How much offset I have given earlier? Offset is 20. So 125 I am moving slowly only in the straight forward direction. Okay, in case there is an obstruction, that means in case one of the distances in the array is less than 30 centimeters, it will come here. It will reverse. See, the idea is to back up and then turn. Okay, so that is what it is doing. So it is backing up minus 200 and minus 125, and then it is turning. Okay, so make sure this lower one is not too low, because I already given in my previous video that my particular motors, they are not at all working below 80 or 80 PWM value. That is why I was trying only not less than 100 PWM. So anyway, here this is the delay. So what is happening? First it is reading the distance and moving the servo to next value. Then it is checking if there is any obstruction. If there is no obstruction, it is moving forward. If there is an obstruction, it is turning left slowly and continuing. Again checking. Okay. And then this is done at a delay of 50 milliseconds only. Okay. This delay is not much. So what is happening? This is not making a decision on the basis of one angle or one distance. It is making decisions depending on the total angles, and this is useful for avoiding nearby obstructions and taking simple diversions. Okay, so this is one type of logic or software, where in the other logic we are taking 90 degrees turns or maybe even 180 degrees turns for turning back. This is a log of the readings I had taken. Okay, I was blocking the right side. Angle is 60. distance is 186. You can see this is fairly acceptable. These readings are fairly okay. Okay, so 186 and all that. I was blocking the right side. So when I am not blocking anything, it is around 2500 up to 3000. So similarly, I tried at that looping delay 100 milliseconds also. There also it was good enough. Okay, so even actually the less is better. So I'm happy with 50 milliseconds delay. See, 50 milliseconds delay as far as collection of readings is concerned. Of course, probably I was holding it at a different distance also. So anyway, it was more or less stable. So these are the typical readings I am getting. You can have a look at these readings. So once I removed the obstacle, it came back to 2200 or something. Okay. So I even tested at 500. So probably my hand is not at the same place. So that is why here the reading is 162. So you can see that these readings are okay, acceptable. Okay, different readings. As far as the sensor is concerned, it's pretty good. At a 50 milliseconds, roughly 50 milliseconds interval of reading, it does a fine job. The extreme values I was talking about, sometimes it can take more than 10,000 values. So in case you want to handle it, you can handle it. This is a video of the first program. I think the delay is 100 milliseconds or so. It's able to navigate properly, turning left and all that. The door is closed, so I took a left turn. So this is one of the problems. In case there is obstruction in the visual angle, it will hesitate a bit. Also, it was getting stuck in the groove of the tiles. Second program is also same thing, same logic. What I have done is I try to, at this point of time, when there is an obstruction, I try to decide what is the direction. Okay. So the direction is equal to find direction. I am trying to find direction and trying to turn left or right depending on the values in the distance areas. The direction is a char variable. Okay, it can be either L or R. So left or right. How I am finding the direction? This logic is very simple. It is simply finding the maximum value of the distances array. So if the distances array, wherever is the maximum is existing, I am finding the index. Okay, in case the index is less than 3, I am turning right. In case the index is greater than 3, I am turning left. So here greater than 3, less than 3, you have to see here. Okay, so this is one set. This is 90 to 120. Okay, it is looking at left side, whereas this lesser degree 60, 70, 80 and all, it is looking to the right side. Okay, the index, so if the maximum value is happening in index greater than 3, now see, index greater than 3 means left side angles. These higher angles are left side angles. Okay, it is looking at the left side. So left side there is more space. Maximum value is on the left side means left side there is more space. So it will turn left. Okay. So similarly, if the right side the space is more means it will turn right. So some simple logical decision I am trying to take here. I try to be careful not to introduce any delays here. I try to improve this with left and right direction decision making. That's all. This is the second program. It's able to turn left smoothly. Now this is a demonstration of the right turn. Third variety is totally different. In the setup we are going to 90 degrees, then we are taking one reading. The distance is equal to read distance. Okay, this is single reading. The distance here is single reading. Okay, again we are going to in loop also we are going to 90 degrees taking a reading. We are taking one more reading here. See, earlier also to make observations I gave serial.print, I commented them out. So in case in your final program they should be commented out, otherwise they will introduce some delay. Here if the distance, if that reading is greater than the limit clear to go is true, that means there is no obstruction. So okay, if there is no obstruction, this is a continuous loop. Okay, if there is no obstruction, I will go forward just like earlier program, 125 plus offset. I'm moving slowly only, moving straight. Then again I'll take a reading. Okay, wait for 50 milliseconds. In case it found an obstruction, then the distance will be less than the limit. Our limit is 30 centimeters or 300 mm. Then I'll make clear to go false. So once clear to go is false, okay, this while loop while checking, it will fail and get out of the loop. And when it gets out of the loop, immediately the first thing it does is to stop the motors. Okay, motor 0 0. Then it will find the direction. Direction function, what it is doing is, first it is going to 170 degrees, taking a reading. Then it is going to 10 degrees, it is taking a reading. Okay, so it is taking extreme values, not like our earlier program where there is a narrow range of vision. It is breaking its neck, seeing left and right. Then I am making sure it goes back to rest position in this loop itself. Okay, then I am applying logic. In case both the sides are blocked, it has to turn around. It has to turn around. So that means, so here at 170 degrees I am calling the distance L distance. At 10 degrees I am calling the distance R distance. I am comparing those here logically. So in case there is a block on both sides, it will take a bigger turn. Okay, some direction is equal to 0. It will be asked to turn almost 180 degrees. Then if the front is blocked, anyway front is blocked, that's why we are here in this loop. Okay, and then left is blocked, that means we are free to go to the right side. So we say direction is 2. Anyway default direction is 1, which is left. Now this is front is blocked, but both sides are not blocked. So in case it is free on both sides, what it will do? Then it will check which side is having more gap. Okay, in case left side is having more gap, it will say go to left. In case right side is having more gap, it will say go to right. Okay, so this function is returning either 0 or 1 or 2. 0 is for turning around 180 degrees. 1 is for left turn, 2 is for right turn. Okay, here while coming back, so depending upon the switch case, if case is 0, turning back, the delay is turn around delay. Values are different here. You can observe that in the previous model of software, these distances both were going back. That we do not want any sharp turns. Okay, we want smoother turns. That is why those values are different. These are strong turns. Okay, almost they will take 90 degrees turn. So this is minus 200 and this is 200. Then in case it is turning left or right, the delay is called turn aside delay. Given here, this you have to change it to adapt to your particular model or your construction. Actually I found that it depends a lot on the flooring we are testing. See, the surface the car is running, it will dictate these distances seriously. Turn aside delay, in my case I kept around 500. Turn around delay, in my case I kept around 1500. Almost 3 times. Sampling delay in this case is 500. This sampling delay in either case, okay, this is the time actually not just for sampling. This is not exactly for taking a reading. This is actually for moving the servo. See, the servo is slow in going to the position, whereas the ultrasonic sensor is not so lazy. I think it will give very good accurate or repeatable results within its limits, even if the delay is slightly less than 50 milliseconds also. This is a third program. Can you see? It's able to navigate through a difficult situation. This is a third program. This is a third program. So it can turn around. You like it? If you are making your own car, these are my suggestions. You try to buy a kit. You will probably get a proper bevo motor, and then you will get all the screws for fixing the items. See, I do not have all those small, probably 2 mm screws for fixing the Arduino and all that. You try making a BT controlled car, Bluetooth controlled car. If you do a BT controlled car, you will be simply navigating left or right. You don't have to tell it how to take care of all the obstructions it gets and all that. Then you can also try fixing the caster wheel at the back. In my design, it's at the front of the car. I do not know, but I think we should try with caster wheel at the back. Maybe it can help the drive better. Then my servo is sitting on top of the second deck, occupying a lot of space on the top, and maybe you can bring it down and fix it below the deck, that is between the two chassis. So that's all for this video. This is not a perfect solution. I tried my best. I hope you will find it meaningful and useful in case you make your own. The tidbits I have provided will help you surmount some of the problems you get. You may leave your comments below. Thank you very much for watching the video.